Welcome to the channel, everyone. Let's rock and roll that rabbit hole.
Imagine this. A city plunges into darkness during a sudden, unexplained blackout. Streets grow silent, shadows stretch, and somewhere in that eerie calm, children begin to vanish, never to be seen again. This chilling conspiracy, known as the Blackout Children, alleges that certain urban blackouts aren't random at all, but orchestrated events masking mass abductions. The theory first surfaced in the late 1990s after a string of citywide outages coincided with reports of missing children, their last known locations eerily close to the blackout's epicenter. Eyewitnesses whisper of shadowy figures lurking in alleys, and of strange, low-frequency hums vibrating through the night air. Some claim government agencies scrub records, silencing families and burying evidence deep within classified files. Others blame secret societies or even entities not of this world, exploiting the chaos of darkness to snatch their victims. Authorities dismiss these tales as urban myth, pointing to data gaps, coincidence, and unreliable witnesses. Yet the pattern persists, each blackout leaving unanswered questions and a growing list of disappearances. How many children truly vanish when the lights go out, and who or what is behind the darkness that swallows them whole?
So this is a new conspiracy I haven't heard before. Have any of you heard of it? I tried to dig up more information on this, but there isn't much to find. It's a frightening prospect.
I know I can't be alone when I say this, but I don't want to do anything. I don't want to work. I don't want to play. I don't want to take out the trash. I don't want to wash the dishes. I don't want to cook dinner. I don't even want to eat dinner. I don't give a fuck about anything anymore. I don't care if we lose this app in 4 days. I don't care if the sun don't come out tomorrow. I do not give a fuck if the moon falls out of the sky tonight. Why are we all continuing? And I don't mean, why are we continuing to play this game in a system that's rigged? No. I mean, what's the point of anything anymore? I know I'm not alone. I don't want to fucking be here. And no, I'm not saying that I want to die. But this shit ain't living. I went to the grocery store today. I pulled in the parking lot. And I just sat there. And then I just went home. I was like, fuck it. I'll just eat a can of tuna. I don't give a fuck about flavor. I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a boyfriend. I don't even want a friend. I don't want $1 million. My fucking nightmares are better than this. I'm not even sad. I'm not angry. I don't even think I'm bored. Nothing feels real. I look at the stores, I see the shit on sale. None of this shit is real. None of this shit matters. Like, I could probably just scream running naked down this parking lot and just not give a fuck. Man, tell me you don't feel this way. Y'all tell me you don't feel this way. This shit is stupid!
This seems to be a growing sentiment. It seems like more and more people are having trouble finding meaning, purpose. Perhaps that's what dopamine overdose looks like. Everyone's been overstimulated. People don't just sit back and let themselves be bored anymore. It's that constant fix. And honestly, the purpose of my channel is not to raise your dopamine levels, but to inform, to ask questions. So just remember to go outside.
So there's this satellite image from the ESA 7 satellite. This was in 1968. And it's like it was like the first visual of Earth via satellite, or like a composite of it.
Yeah.
But look at, and it was
like
stationed over the North Pole. And this is the picture that they released.
What the heck?
And they talk about, oh, it's just the composite images that they all put together and the North Pole wasn't captured. Right? Okay, well then this was from Google Earth in like the early 2000s. Send this to you.
It's the hole to the center of the Earth.
But does it not look, if you compare it to that first map?
It's identical.
And people talk about...
And what year was that map? That was like the 1600s?
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
You're not allowed to fly over
Is it
the North
restricted?
Pole. Yeah. Because, probably because it's the most harsh climate, but
Yeah.
still,
Right.
people don't fly over the North Pole.
Yeah.
But Admiral Byrd did.
Admiral Byrd.
We've
Yeah.
talked about him a lot too.
Yeah.
He
Good
did,
name for a pilot.
Yeah. He's associated with a ton of stuff. Like even the Project Fishbowl. He was involved in the Operation High Jump. Admiral Byrd, this was like shortly after World War II. He was sent with an armada. The Navy sent this whole armada of battleships to the Antarctic. Super weird stuff. And it was just to explore, but it was all weaponized. And so the theory is that he went out there to seek out Nazi hideouts in Antarctica.
Yeah.
So he explored that, said that there's some crazy stuff there. And then he also did an exploration to the North Pole. And this is where this is the conspiracy part.
Okay.
Because apparently he had, and we've talked about it before, I believe, but his secret diary that only he had. And then when he died, his son got it. And then when his son was trying to publish the stuff in it, he died, like under very mysterious circumstances. But Admiral Byrd talks about in this secret diary, allegedly that he wrote, people think that it's fake, that when he went to explore the North Pole, there was an entry to inner Earth, like hollow Earth.
And that would make sense with this big old hole.
It would. And he describes it as being in the Earth, lush green land beyond the ice, mammoth-like creatures, a technology advanced civilization, and meeting with a being called the Master who warns humanity about nuclear weapons.
Wow.
So this is where it gets a little like,
Yeah.
I don't know about it.
But it sounds like the little green children.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought about. It was the Green Kids.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That literally backs up that story. That's so fun to think about. A giant hole that has a whole different world. I mean, yeah, dude.
It's all
I'm just thinking
freaking
like
me.
sci-fi. So the possibility of sci-fi movies right now
Oh
are just
my
endless.
gosh.
But apparently this master gave Admiral Byrd this message. It's a long message. But at one point he says to Admiral Byrd, you see, we have never interfered before in your race's wars of barbarity,
Wow.
but now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for man, namely the atomic energy. Our emissaries have already delivered messages to the powers of your world, and yet they do not heed. You have been chosen to witness here that our world does exist. You see, our culture and science is many thousands of years beyond your race.
Wow.
You, my son, must return to the surface of the world with this message.
Cool.
Then he died.
A giant gaping entrance into the hollow earth. I want to brush this off as ridiculous conspiracy, but why did Admiral Byrd write about it? One of the world's most famous explorers. Was he being truthful? Or is he a crackpot?
If you are a dog person and you've been around dogs a lot and all of that, notice that when dogs are playing with each other and they're really getting into it, sometimes it's rough, they will do this. That little fake sneeze. Dogs do that. That's a communication tactic between dogs, and they're basically saying, I'm not being serious. I just want to play. This isn't for real. If you do that to a dog, they will lose their mind. Look at their face when you do it. It's the same 100% of the time. And this has worked with every dog I've ever done it with. Fake sneeze to a dog, go pss, pss. They will look at you like, someone taught him. He knows how to talk to us. It's like you're speaking their language. Try it. Just try. Any dog will work. Any dog. Try it after you watch this video.
Okay, so I tried this one. They do have a reaction to it. I am really curious if we've hacked their language or something. Maybe give it a try and let me know in the comments what your dog's reaction was.
Notice how tiny and small the rainbows are in Australia. My boy Lyndon took this video in Australia and you can just see how tiny the arch is on the rainbows in Australia. Isn't that super interesting? Because this is what a rainbow looks like in Vancouver, Canada. This one's in Ontario that I took a while ago, and you can see how massive this rainbow is. They are huge in Canada. Now let's take a look at what your loving government has told you. This is how rainbows are created, guys. The sun rays hit the raindrops. It refracts twice, and then the observer sees the rainbow. Now that's interesting because in order for us to scientifically create a rainbow, actually use real science, create a rainbow inside, we need sunlight, we need water, and an object that can act as a prism. So where's the prism here? We got sunlight, we got water, but where's the prism? Now, if this is really what's happening here, guys, how is it that Australia's rainbows are like this, and then Canada's rainbows are like this? It's almost as if there is a prism of some sorts, and maybe that prism is higher in Canada than it is in Australia. Now we're going to take this even one step further and show you what a rainbow looks like in Antarctica. It's pretty much touching the ground. Again, if this is happening, how is that possible? It's pseudoscience. Prism, we need a prism, water, and sunlight, real science. We can do this ourselves. We can tangibly measure it, observe it, and repeat it, which is the definition of science. All right, so according to the Bible and our ancient ancestors, this is what the Earth actually looks like. This is an old map. This is the standard map of the world before the world elites came along, by the way. Antarctica is a 360-degree ice wall around our stationary flat Earth. And if there's a dome encompassing the Earth, it would be the highest point in the middle, right? The edges are in Antarctica. Here's Canada, Canadian rainbows. Here's Australia, Australian rainbows. And here, and all-encompassing, is Antarctica. And here is Antarctica's rainbows. Now, rainbows are 100% proof that we live under a dome.
I feel like this man makes a compelling argument. Now, I'm not saying there's a dome over us, but the gentleman is right about the 3 ingredients you need for a rainbow. If there is no dome or ceiling, then what is creating the prism?
This is the Motherland Call statue in Russia. Allegedly, it was built between 1963 and 1967 to memorialize or remember the fallen Russian soldiers in the Battle of Stalingrad in World War II. Now, I don't think we actually built this, or they built it in 1963. I think this statue is a remnant of the Tartarian civilization that they don't teach about in the history books. They hide that history, and they don't want you to know because it has implications that would shake a lot of people. So look at this statue. This right here is an Attack on Titan size statue. Look at this lady. And this is constructed out of concrete. She's holding a sword, which is metal, but this is concrete. According to the fake information on Wikipedia, the way they built this was they created a metal cast from scratch, the same shape and size of the statue, and they poured concrete into the cast to make this perfect statue back in 1963. And they're saying that this statue is 290 feet tall from the base of her feet to the tip of the sword. And if you look at these people next to this statue, you can tell this is bigger than a football field. A football field is about 360 feet, roughly. Look at the size of this lady. Do you really think they built that in 1963? It's cap. Look at those people down there. Can you see those people? They're trying to tell us that that is the size of a football field. Look at those specks, those people down there. Just look at that lady's arm. That looks like a real arm. You mean to tell me they made a metal cast and poured concrete into it to create that arm? Look at that hand. Look at those fingers. This is a Tartarian statue. And who knows who this lady really was in the Tartarian civilization? Who knows who this lady is or what she represents for real? They had to explain away why this statue was here, and the World War II Battle of Stalingrad was a perfect reason for that. This is fake history. This is not real. They did not build that in 1963, all right? And of course, they have construction photos. So if you notice in this construction photo, the statue is already built. The sword is already in place, and all they're doing is putting scaffolding around a completed project so they can take photos to sell the lie in the history books. Another construction photo where the guy's he's just climbing on it, and there's another dude over here under it just hanging on, acting like they're building stuff. They're not building jack squat. Look at the magnificence of this. Look at the creases and the folds in this lady's gown thing. Look at it, it's blowing in the wind. And that sword is metal. And in 1972, they said, oh, we replaced the sword with a higher quality alloy because the other sword wasn't as good quality. Do you have proof of that? Of you putting that sword into place? Who is this lady? In the Tartarian civilization, who was this lady? We'll never know because they're never going to tell you the truth about this lady. They're never going to tell you the truth about, the last reset. That was probably in the late 1600s or 1700s. They're not going to tell you and what it means and all the implications it has on history and the timeline. They don't want you to know any of that stuff.
If I say so myself, I'd say that these are definitely humans. And if those sculptures are humans, and other sculptures we see around, if they're humans, what about the terracotta army? The terracotta army, we had this whole army made to supposedly guide someone or protect somebody in the afterlife of 8,000 maybe soldiers, all made out of stone sculptures, perfect looking. I've never believed that narrative. I have always thought they were feeding me some kind of bullcrap. I don't eat bullcrap, you might, but I don't. And I've always wondered why they put it in my bowl. But why the terracotta army? Well, because we know the Great Wall of, what was that? No, the Great Wall of Tartaria was defending against that region, the dragon country there. They were defending against them. Why were they defending against those people right there? The same place where all those people were allegedly looking like turned to stone. Literally, we had this giant wall. Who knows how it was made? Like everything else, you get the point, right? Who knows how it was really made? But it was made for something important, for an important defense. Maybe something supernatural was happening, because the one they were defending against, they were all turned to stone. I mean, really, it just has to baffle your mind. All these myths, all these legends, giants and petrification, Medusa turning to stone. What do you know about all these pagan gods and goddesses? They're fallen angels, right? So Medusa turning to stone, is it possible that angels and fallen angels have the power to turn beings into stone? So the question is, was there an angelic war around that great wall where fallen angels and angels were literally battling each other as well as the citizens? And is this right here why we see the face of giants all the time in mountains and rocks just all over the earth as if they were just petrified in place? Is it possible the majority of the giants were wiped out after the flood by turning them to stone by the good angels that still reign with God? And maybe, just maybe, now we have entered a season of time where Satan reigns, and his demons reign, and his giants reign, and his angels reign, and that's why we're seeing all these giants around the earth.
Yeah, the sheer magnitude of that first statue in Russia is phenomenal. The level of detail in the dress, their hands, and the terracotta soldiers. Who carves thousands and thousands of statues for a burial site? The official story is weak.
It only takes one spark, and this week, we've seen 3. Follow if you ever felt like the next global shift won't come from the West, but the East. India just launched precision strikes into Pakistani territory, a direct response to a terror attack that killed 26 civilians. Pakistan? Dealing with 71 coordinated internal attacks from the Baloch Liberation Army. It's chaos on both sides, and someone is playing chess with matches. But here's what's really got people talking. A new cyber attack, dubbed Dance of the Hillary, is reportedly targeting Indian devices, social media platforms, spyware, full control, and no one's sure how deep it goes. And then there's Kashmir, always the powder cake, and when nukes sit just miles apart, tensions become more than a headline, it becomes a timer. This isn't fear-mongering, it's pattern recognition. History doesn't just repeat, it tests to see if you're paying attention. In spite of the silence, the storm is already rumbling.
Is China using Pakistan's war as its testing ground? China isn't just backing Pakistan diplomatically, it's actively involved. CPC, once seen as an economic lifeline, now looks like a military corridor. Reports say Chinese fighter jets were tested for the first time in combat, right in Pakistani airspace. Why? Because China sees this war as an opportunity to test weapons, to flex against India, and to protect its billion-dollar CPEC investments. But the bigger question is Pakistan fighting its war, or China's? When wars become labs, and allies become puppets, the whole region burns.
witnessing a historic moment in modern air combat. The Pakistan Air Force has become the first military in the world to shoot down 4.5 generation fighter jets in active combat. According to Reuters and Business Insider, Pakistani J-10C jets, Chinese-made multi-role fighters, successfully downed 5 Indian aircraft during the recent dogfight, including 3 French-made Rafale jets, along with 1 MiG-29 and 1 Su-30 MKI. This is significant because the Rafale is one of the most advanced 4.5 fighter jets ever built and had never been shot down in combat until now. U.S. officials also confirmed that this engagement took place and that Pakistani jets were responsible for the shootdowns. This clash marks one of the most intense air battles in recent history, possibly the largest since World War II. It not only sets a new precedent for modern aerial warfare, but also raises serious questions about air dominance, technology, and tactical execution between rival nations.
Pakistan didn't just force India to its knees, it crushed the pride of 3 other big countries too. That's right. India showed up with Russia's S-400 defense system, supposedly the best in the world. They brought France's Rafale jets too, fast by name, but not so much in action. And those high-tech Israeli drones? They flew in like eagles, but forgot how to fly the moment they hit Pakistani airspace. Rafales, man, our JF-17 Thunders had them bouncing so hard, their pilots were Googling how to escape Pakistani missiles. And the Israeli drones India thought would be game changers? Total game over. Now let's talk about who stood with Pakistan in this battle. China wasn't just standing, they were on the front lines, giving tech, intelligence, and full-on support.
So the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is saying that India has proved superiority over Pakistan. Look, the whole world is laughing at you with all that fake junk jets you got from France and from the United States. Well, the only people that the whole world is taking note of right now is China, because China have provided Pakistan with offensive and defensive capabilities, and they were shooting down the French jets from the sky like tomatoes. So instead of you running your mouth, I think you should do some house cleaning. India is just a big elephant that can't run. And Pakistan have shown you clearly where you belong. So next time before you launch this kind of operation in Pakistan, you need to think twice.
I think many of us can probably see what's going on here. Another proxy war with nations like Russia and France and Israel backing India, and then countries like China backing Pakistan. Who's really fighting this war?
Design fails that are so bad it's funny. I'm not sure who thought it was a good idea to make insect killer spray and cooking spray the exact same. I'm not sure they thought this one through. The pattern on the carpet is so confusing. People are definitely falling down those stairs. A pull door that literally has no handle. And what's the point of this escalator? It leads you straight to nowhere. I get it, it's a cute design, but what's the point of having an eraser? You literally can't use it.
Just when you think humanity couldn't possibly get any dumber, let me tell you, it kind of looks like a downward spiral.
Have y'all heard about the freckle-spiracy? If you were born before like the 2000s, got this freckle on your forearm. Just like that right there. Sus. And here's what's strange. So many people have this freckle, or whatever you want to call it, in the exact same spot on their left forearm. And some people actually believe, I can't even say it with a straight face, that we are manufactured humans. If you have this freckle. Clone 4,754,000 reporting for duty. Starshine says hello. I think it's crazy. Just kidding, I'm real. I think. The freckle-spiracies don't stop there. Some say it's a sign of being a witch. The witch's mark. That is usually on the other arm. There's all kinds of tales. Kissed by an angel, scratched by a spirit, means you're gonna be rich. Well, I wish you'd hurry up. Or maybe it's just melanoma. Maybe it's melanoma. That was dark. Either way, do you have the freckle? You think you're a clone? Or is it just sun damage? And the people that have this, it makes you wonder. Ooh, go with the Lord.
What is an indigo child? Indigo children are kids or adults who have a special blend of gifts and qualities that can make them seem like they're different.
Here are 8 signs you're an indigo child. See how many you score out of 8. Number 1, you don't like authority and go against the grain. Number 2, you have great intuition and can read people, environments, and situations expertly. Number 3, you can see what's wrong with the world. Number 4, you want to help people and further humanity. Number 5, you were born between 1980 and 1999. Number 6, you feel destined for something big in your lifetime. Number 7, you can be sensitive to the environment around you. Number 8, you aren't afraid to rock the boat with your views and opinions, and you'll stand up and fight for others. How many did you score out of 8? Are you an indigo child?
Now, I don't have this birthmark on my arm, but I'm curious as to how many of you may have it. Is there any indigo children out there? Take a look and please leave in the comments if you find the mole on your arm.
If you're having a bad day, just remember, there's somebody out there pulling a door that says push. Fucking dumbasses.
And there's your words of wisdom for today. If you have low self-esteem, just get on TikTok for 20 minutes. You'll feel much better about yourself. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for coming by. See you next time.